Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the Abraham Shakespeare case. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks. So we all dream about winning the lotto, what we would do with all that money if we had it. We fantasize about cars and traveling, the house we'd buy. This is a reality for a lucky few. But there is that saying though, be careful what we wish for. Too much money can and will kill a person. Some folks win the lottery and it becomes a curse rather than a blessing. And this was the case for Abraham Shakespeare.
And there's already been more drama in the Dee Dee More case. She's accused of murdering lottery winner Abraham Shakespeare. Chris Trankman is live at the courthouse tonight with more.
Abraham Lee Shakespeare was born on April 24th, 1966. He grew up in Lakeland, Florida, in a lower-income community, in poverty. He dropped out of school when he was 12 years old. As a result of this, he couldn't read, making him illiterate. He worked hard, lower-paying, odd jobs, and spent a little time in jail for a burglary. Family and friends described him as a quiet, humble, introverted dude, learning from his mistakes, having 2 sons he adored, and he stayed away from drugs and alcohol. In 2006, Abraham and a co-worker named Michael Ford were driving towards Miami. They made a quick stop in Frostproof, Florida, at a convenience store for drinks and cigarettes. When Ford asked Abraham if he wanted a drink, Abraham handed him $5 for 2 lottery tickets. When the winning numbers of the Florida lottery were announced on Wednesday, October 25th, 2006, the $3 million jackpot went unclaimed. This wasn't unusual. The odds of picking the 6 lucky numbers from a possible 69 was 1 in over 292 million. With no claimants, the Florida lottery jackpot rolled over, meaning it was added to the grand prize of the next draw. Once again, nobody won over the following 2 weeks. The jackpot rolled over 3 more times by Wednesday, November 15, 2006, and it had reached $30 million. On that fateful day of November 15, 2006, Abraham Lee Shakespeare became that 1 in over 292 million, winning $30 million and opting for the lump sum of $17 million, becoming an instant multi-millionaire. His troubles were over, and now it was time for the good life. Abraham bought a $1 million home, cars priced at $100,000, showered those closest to him with money by paying off people's debts, giving out loans, and even taking all of his family and friends out on a cruise. So the co-worker that was with him when he bought the ticket, Michael Ford, demanded Abraham split the winnings with him, but Abraham refused. So Ford took him to court and accused him of stealing the ticket from his wallet. A jury didn't buy it, and Abraham got to keep the entire winnings. Abraham Shakespeare went from making $8 an hour as a truck driver's assistant to becoming an instant multimillionaire and was ill-equipped to fend off the vultures. He fell into a bad place and couldn't tell who his real friends were anymore. With all the bickering and hands out for his money, Abraham became depressed. Folks he hadn't seen in years were coming out of the woodwork with their hands out first. Obviously, Abraham's good-natured heart was in their mind. The calls and visits were constant. Saying no is easier said than done, and wouldn't be the easiest thing for any of us to handle. Abraham had grown frustrated with the apparently constant appeals for money from both hangers-on and strangers. He told his brother, "I'd have been better off broke," and told a childhood friend, "I thought all these people were my friends, but then I realized all they want is my money." One of these was Doris Dee Dee More, who launched a business with Shakespeare, Abraham Shakespeare, LLC, giving herself control of the firm's funds. Moore subsequently withdrew $1 million and bought herself a Hummer, a Corvette, and a truck before going on vacation. She later claimed that the money was a gift from Shakespeare. You see, less than 2 years since he won the lottery, Abraham was down to his last million. Dee Dee More was introduced to Abraham by the folks who sold him his mansion. She originally reached out to Abraham about a book she intended on writing that touched on rags to riches. When Dee Dee heard about Abraham's dilemma, she wanted to help him by investing his money for him, for which she did. She even went out and started collecting money owed to Abraham. And it wasn't long before she started calling herself his financial advisor. People, family, and friends were seeing more and more of Dee Dee showing up at their doorstep to collect money owed to Abraham, and started seeing less and less of Mr. Shakespeare. Family and friends began to worry. Then on November 9th, 2009, a cousin of Abraham's reported him missing to police, telling them that he hasn't been seen since April, and the investigation begins. Dee Dee tells family and friends that Abraham does not want to be found due to all the money handouts, and assures them that Abraham is taking time to clear his head.
Think that you're a cold-blooded killer? No, I hope you're not a cold-blooded killer.
I have not killed him.
I hope he's not even dead.
He's not. Because he wanted to pretend he was dying of AIDS so that he doesn't have to pay child support and people won't look for him if he's dying of AIDS.
What?
It was a videotape of him having a 14-year-old girl. My family's being affected. My mom's got heart problems. She's over my house right now cleaning for Thanksgiving. My own parents were scared to come to my house for Thanksgiving.
Why?
Because of all this stuff happening.
Well, how do they know about all this stuff?
Because I'm honest with my family.
I honestly can't look at you and believe a word that's come out of your mouth. You have lied and lied and lied.
All the money's in your name. Everything's you, okay? The only person that's going to answer questions here is you. End of story, okay? Because I can guarantee you, if it stops right now and the stories stop right now and where it is, like I told you, there's only two people that could be thrown in jail right now. That's you and James. End of story. End of story. Okay? Let justice prevail. Don't worry about why we brought your son up here.
Did you hurt him?
No.
Did you yell at him?
No. We don't yell at people until they start lying.
Did he cry?
Nobody here has lied except for you.
Because you don't believe me.
Because you
lied.
lied.
And tried. And
because I don't believe your lies?
Because I've had to lie because you don't go and look out. Nobody
You
else.
haven't.
You don't listen to me.
You haven't had to lie, Dee Dee.
Yes, I have.
No, you have not.
I have had to rely profusely.
A little background into Doris Dee Dee Donegan. She was born on July 25, 1972, and a native to Plant City, Florida. It turns out that Dee Dee had a bit of a criminal past, being convicted of insurance fraud and falsely reporting a crime. Dee Dee, in an effort to avoid getting repoed, she came up with a plan by pretending to have been carjacked and sexually assaulted in the process by 3 Hispanic males. Police opened up a big investigation, putting her vehicle on notice for possible suspects on the evening news, when a man called police and told them he was in possession of the car they were looking for because Dee Dee paid him $500 to store it in his garage. Dee Dee came from humble beginnings. She studied to be a nurse's assistant because she wanted to help people. She got her certificate in 1991, and at one point of her life she was considered to be generous and empathetic towards people in need. She married James Moore in 1992, and they had a child named Robert in 1995. So where did she go wrong and how did we get here? See, Abraham didn't have much of an education, especially when it came to finances, and Dee Dee was an opportunist, not in the good way. During the investigation, police learned that Dee Dee was a conniving con artist, screwing investors out of thousands, and sued by one of her former landlords for not paying her rent. She's a pathological liar and a thief, always looking for the next scam, and Abraham didn't have a chance. Detectives announced Dee Dee as a person of interest. Everyone was so caught up in Abraham's money that they forgot to protect him. Dee Dee slid right in there, able to play the protector role before any of his loved ones could. Abraham needed to trust someone so bad that he laid his trust on the worst person possible. 2 months after taking control of Abraham's finances, all of his funds were in Dee Dee's account. When Abraham tried to pull money out of the bank, he was declined. So Abraham was concerned, not knowing what was going on with his money. He had questions for Dee Dee. So he went to Dee Dee's home to confront her about where his money went, and she shot him dead. She had her ex-husband dig a hole on property she bought with Abraham's money. Ex-husband James didn't know there was a body in the hole. Dee Dee was so conniving, she tried to get other people, including her own father, to take the rap for Abraham's murder. At one point even blaming her own son, stating Abraham was choking me, and he was only trying to protect his mom. In the end, she told police that drug dealers killed Abraham. Police found Abraham's body on January 25, 2010, after Dee Dee told Greg Smith a friend of Abraham's who was working with police where the body was located. Abraham's mother, Elizabeth, said despite everything, she has found it in her heart to forgive Dee Dee. Abraham Shakespeare was a generous and humble man who would rather help others, and gave most of his money away, helping his loved ones, his community, and even those he didn't even know.
State of Florida versus Doris Dee Dee More. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Dee Dee More simply shook her head no, while her victim's family nodded yes.
She had everything she wanted, and she still didn't have enough, and she took his life.